So Anthropic just dropped a new AI model, and it's making some serious waves. It's called Claude Haiku 4.5, and it's a fantastic example of how sometimes smaller can be a whole lot mightier. Let's dive in and break down what makes this little model a potential giant in the AI world.
You know, for the longest time, the world of AI has been stuck with this fundamental trade-off. You could have a model that was unbelievably powerful and smart, or you could have one that was super fast and affordable. But getting both of those things at the same time? Yeah, that's been the holy grail.
But this is where Anthropic's new contender steps into the ring. They think they've finally cracked the code, and they've come up with a model that's designed to strike a brand new and really powerful balance between these competing demands.
So what exactly is Claude Haiku 4.5? Well, it's the smallest model in their new Claude 4.5 family, and it's built from the ground up for speed and cost efficiency. But here's the kicker, that last phrase, near-frontier intelligence. What that means is, despite its size, its ability to reason and solve problems is right up there with some of the most powerful models we have. It is absolutely punching way above its weight class.
Yeah, a mini performance beast is the perfect way to think about it. It's been fine-tuned to handle the kind of instant, high-volume jobs that bigger, slower models often just can't keep up with. Think about really responsive customer service bots or a live coding assistant that never, ever lags.
Okay, so let's really get into what makes this thing tick. It all boils down to this incredible performance trifecta. It's unbelievably fast, it's surprisingly smart, and it is remarkably affordable.
First up, speed. And this is a big one. Haiku 4.5 is twice as fast as the last generation's mid-tier model, Claude Sonnet 4. For any app where a human is sitting there waiting for a response, like a chatbot, doubling the speed is an absolute game changer for that user experience. And then you've got the price tag. At just a single dollar for 1 million input tokens, and tokens are just, think of them as little pieces of words the AI chews on, it's 3 times cheaper than its bigger sibling, Sonnet 4.5. This isn't just some small discount, this is a huge shift that makes high-volume AI services actually affordable for way more businesses.
But look, being fast and cheap doesn't mean a thing if it isn't smart, right? And Haiku 4.5 is definitely not a slouch here. It scores a super impressive 73.3% on a key coding benchmark. To give you some context, that's a score you'd normally only see from a much, much larger and more expensive model.
Okay, this is where things start to get really futuristic. Haiku 4.5 is so much more than just a text generator. It has what are called agentic abilities. Now, what in the world does that mean? It means it can understand a goal and then actually take actions step by step to achieve it.
And this isn't just a simple if-then process. It's actually pretty sophisticated. The AI doesn't just react. First, it breaks down the problem, then it figures out the right tools it needs for the job, it reasons through a whole plan, and only then does it start executing the tasks. This is a massive leap beyond just spitting out a response to a prompt.
And that brings us to the part that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. When we say it can use tools, we're not just talking about some software in the background. No, it can actually interact with a computer's user interface, clicking and typing, just like a person would.
So they put this to the test with something called the OS World Benchmark, which is designed to see if it can navigate an operating system to get things done. And the results are wild. A success rate of over 50% is a huge deal for a model this small. It lets it do things like look at a screenshot, figure out where to click, and type text to complete a task.
Okay, so with all this power, you might be thinking Haiku 4.5 is the answer to everything. But hold on, it's not a silver bullet. Just like with any tool, the real key is knowing when to use it. It's all about making a strategic trade-off.
And the strategy is pretty straightforward. You'd pick Haiku 4.5 for jobs that need to be fast, responsive, and done at a huge scale, like customer chat or AI assistance. But for that really deep, complex stuff, like heavy scientific research or high-level architectural coding, you'd still want to call in the big guns, its larger siblings, like Sonnet or Opus.
And to their credit, Anthropic is really upfront about these limitations. They'll tell you that the model can sometimes lose the thread in a super long conversation, and that its ability to use a computer, while amazing, isn't perfect and definitely still needs a human in the loop. It's all about that balance.
So, let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture. Why is a small model like this such a big deal? Well, it's because it's kicking off a whole new era of AI, one that isn't just about being powerful, but about being practical and scalable too.
And this is really where Haiku 4.5 finds its sweet spot. It's the perfect engine for instant customer service, for coding assistance that feels seamless, and for powering the free tier of an app without bankrupting the company. It's also amazing for building complex systems where you have a bunch of Haiku agents all working on tasks in parallel, with a bigger model acting as the coordinator.
When you put it all together, what Claude Haiku 4.5 is really doing is making high-quality AI something that can actually be used at a massive scale. It's tearing down the walls of cost and speed that have held back so many incredible AI ideas, and it's paving the way for intelligent services to become truly, truly widespread.
And that leaves us with this one big, fascinating question, doesn't it? For years, we've just watched AI models get bigger and more powerful. But maybe, just maybe, the next great leap in AI isn't about more raw power at all. Maybe it's about making all that power efficient, affordable, and accessible to everyone. Claude Haiku 4.5 certainly makes a very strong case.